traitor Emily Caldwin and her murderous father were guilty of witchery and black heresy. The corruption is deep, without limits. The Abbey is at war in the fight to save your eternal spirit. Be wary for the agents of the Outsider. Heed my words and save yourself. Karnaca is in great peril, brothers and sisters. Now, this is not news to those of you living through these times of crisis. But the source of your suffering might not be plain to you. Karnaca has turned away from the Abbey of the Everyman. Those leading this city would gamble with all that we have built, with your very families. If the Abbey is pushed away, anarchy will befall this city. A chaos not seen since the time of the Great Burning. Karnaca has but one chance to save itself, and that is to return to the fold, to take solace once again in the litany on the White Cliff. The Abbey will not allow the shadows of the void to fall upon you. We will brandish the light or the flame as we must to keep our charges from everlasting pain and suffering, to prevent even one among us from wandering through that endless night for time without end. The reward of a life well lived, in keeping with the 7 strictures, is the end of existence, the peace of non-being. Only those who turn from the 7 strictures risk an endless existence, adrift in the void, the dark sky without stars, the cold, lifeless ocean that surrounds us all and threatens to devour the earth and sky and all things in between. Trust in the Abbey, my friends. Trust in the Abbey. There is a tale, a decade and a half old. A tale most often shared from overseer to overseer, apart from the flocks entrusted to our care, apart from those we give our lives to both chastise and protect. Sometimes, this tale is told within our mightiest enclaves, and sometimes it is told around campfires during our most remote pilgrimages. It is the sorry story of a man, most high within the Abbey, who was banished during the Rat Plague. His name may not be spoken, and all written record of his existence has been erased, so grave were his errors. To fall from the pinnacle of discipline to the muddiest ditch of disgrace, that is his tale. To once wear the cloth of the High Overseer, and to later bear the heretic's brand across the flesh of his face. How did this come to pass, brothers and sisters?
It's crazy. I mean,
Look to the 7 strictures, and you will know. A young girl came to me on the 14th day of the month of harvest. I will never forget her words. She looked up at me and asked what shrines to the Outsider could be found across the Isles. She affected a look of innocence, but beneath it I saw guile. My suspicions arose at once, and I questioned her sharply, until she confessed to playing alone in an empty woodcarver's shop at the edge of town. Each day for a week, she crept back to that place, and there in the cellar, she found cloth of purple and red, suspended from the walls, and a wretched altar of candles burned low, some small trinkets of bone, and a few coins left by those within the Outsider's wicked cabal. Those cursed figures who hunch and shamble just outside the lights of our city, whose faces we do not recognize, and whose voices are strange to us. The girl was taken from her home the next night, locked in a cage of iron, and toppled into the canal. Her corruption was eradicated for the safety of all those who lived around her, all of you. We harden ourselves to the cries of the apostate, to the heretic, and in doing so, we save countless others from the horrible discord that awaits them beyond death. Let not the wanderer into your home, friends. Avoid the stranger, for their time to sink roots into the bedrock of the community has passed. Those who wander are untethered by family and neighbors for reasons tested and true. It is oft because they have turned their backs on tradition and on the seven strictures themselves. A wanderer is a friend to the outsider. Never doubt that. I say this now to all the faithful in our society. Your allegiance should be first and most fiercely to your family, to your neighbors, and to the Abbey of the Everyman. Princes and queens rise and fall, but a succession of overseers will watch you for the entirety of your lifetime, shielding you from the outer horrors of the void and from the spoiled touch of the outsider himself. Hold closest to the seven strictures. If it is true that a witch now sits on the throne in Dundalk, and that the Duke of Circinus is in her thrall, as is whispered in parlors and alehouses across the Empire, do not doubt. We will verify this claim, and we will act. Smoke will billow. Fires will lick the stones of Dunwall Tower. And at the end of it all, the Abbey will stand in the ashes. Say to the flesh that is familiar, that of the fowl and sheep, the ox and fish from the cold ocean. Those who taste the flesh of the rat risk drifting through the void for all the remaining hours of all the remaining years, until the world is swallowed itself by the void, and all manner of things are destroyed. Set a table for your family that will keep them safe. Lay out a meal that would cause you no shame should your neighbor come to sup with you. A young girl came to me on the 14th day of the month of harvest. I will never... Huh? Until she confessed to playing alone each day for a week. The altar of candles burned low. Some small trinkets. Faces we do not recognize, and whose voices are strange.
Sometimes I wonder if it wouldn't be better to craft
The girl was
music
taken
boxes
from
at
her
each
home the next
enclave.
night.
Here in the city,
In a cage of iron, and
instead they're
toppled
made
into
in
the
a few
canal.
locations,
Her
kept from us,
corruption
and
was
shipped out.
eradicated. For the
Seems
safety
dangerous.
of all those who
Far
lived
worse to
around
have the
her,
knowledge of
all
construction
you.
materials scattered across the isles.
Harden
The metals
ourselves
used to
the
make the
crime,
devices are
the apostate,
unusually
the
rare.
heretic.
The techniques,
And
if
in doing
applied by
so,
anyone but the
we
most
see
faithful,
countless
resolute
others from the
overseers
horrible
would
discord
border on
that awaits
heresy.
them
I suppose
beyond
you're correct.
death.
It grieves me to
The
imagine what
Abbey
cultists
will
might accomplish
not
if they took the
allow
music boxes and
shadows of the
perverted
void
them to their
fall
own ends.
upon you.
Exactly, brother.
We
Much
will
better to
brandish
protect
the
such a
light
powerful
or the
tool.
flame as
Assemble
we
them in
must
secret
to
and
keep
dispatch
our
them across the
charges from
Empire where they're
everlasting
needed in the
pain
fight
and
against the
suffering,
supernatural.
to prevent even one among us from wandering through that endless night